So, hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Scientist Blade, and I am Avinash. And what I do basically, I teach data science here, and today is the 20th day of teaching data science, and we are continuing with Python. Okay, so basically, till now, what we have discussed in Python is that we have discussed the introduction part, we have discussed the operators in Python, we have discussed the several data types in Python. Uh, Including numeric data types, sequential data types, mapping data types, sets. Basically, the introduction part we have discussed, and also we discussed about some string formatting. We discussed about uh, date and time module in Python. And today, what we are going to do, basically, we are going to discuss about the conditional statements in Python. Okay. So first, which I say you guys to follow is to follow the mind map. Okay. So basically, what is a mind map? So mind map is a pictorial representation of our data, or you can say of anything. For example, you are reading a book, and those books consist of 300, 400 pages. Okay. So you are a human, right? We are human, and we can't be able to recall everything which is there on the book at once, right? So for that, there is a mind map. It is in a crisp manner. The data are stored in a crisp manner, and it's make sure that everything is covered within that mind map. Okay. So as I say, you guys, how you can open the mind map is just simply you can use your Google Chrome, type it here, Python mind map. Okay. And similarly, when you will type Python mind map, a pop-up will display here on the very first result. Just go here. So we have discussed about the introduction. We discussed about the data types. We discussed about variables. We discussed about operators. Now it comes loops. Sorry, conditional statements. Again, what are the conditional statements? So basically, like if I wanna ask you, not in any coding term or any Python term, what do you mean by condition? Okay. So by just simple English language, what do you understand by the word condition? Right? So I want you guys to comment on the comment section. What do you mean by condition? Okay. So condition basically is a set of rules. Okay. Set of rules we give to certain things. Okay. Set of rules we bind to certain, what we can say, certain protocols are there, right? For example, the condition is there like if it rain tomorrow, right? If it rain tomorrow, then you will carry an umbrella, right? So there is a certain protocol when there is raining. Okay. So what's the protocol here? You have to carry an umbrella. Okay. So the condition here is if it rains, if it doesn't rain, then you don't need to do it, right? So there is some condition applied. There is some protocol applied that you have to follow this. If you will not follow, then obviously you will face the consequences, right? So the ultimate thing regarding condition is defining set of protocols, set of what you can say is like in simple English, uh, condition is means applying set of rules. Okay. And if you don't follow certain rules, then obviously you have to face some consequences. So condition just make sure it rules. Uh, it is a rule. And what type of rule is there? There are certain rules. It's like if you are in college, if you are in school, if you are in some corporate, so there are certain rules pertaining to your institution, whether it's corporate, whether it's college, or whether it's anything, right? If you are living in some hostel, so there are certain rules for that, right? You can't go out after 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. So, and if you will go out, then you will face some consequences. So particularly if is there. Okay. So if means you are warning that person that if you will go, if you will not go, then it's good. So here as well in Python, there are three conditional statements. Okay. First is if, second is If else, third is else, right? So these are the certain rules or protocols which you can say in Python. Okay. Now we will discuss everything in detail, that what is if else, what is else. These all things we will discuss. Okay. So for that, what I need to open my spider. Okay. So for that, I have opened my Anaconda Navigator. Here you will see spider ID. Again, why to use a spider? I have talked several times pertaining to this. Why to use spider? Because it has various features which allows any beginner to learn the code much faster. Okay. There are some beautiful IDs like VS Code, PyCharm. But yes, Spider allows you to learn, to understand the concepts clearly and in an effective manner. Okay. It helps you guys. It's totally up to you that whether you can use VS Code or any ID of your choice. But as a beginner, I would suggest that use Spider because it will clear your concepts. Okay. So how to use a Spider? It's a simple, easy thing. It's like in your life, you might have used Microsoft Word or Microsoft PowerPoint, right? And how do you create a new file there, right? So you just go here in file, you will get a pop-up here as a new file. Just click it on here, and the new file will be created, right? So we will discuss about the conditional statements. Okay. So first is I will write here conditional statements. Okay. And what are the several types? First is if, second is elif, and third is else. Okay. So these are the three conditional statements which is there in Python. So we will discuss it one by one. What is if? Okay. So if I will write what is if. So for example, if again I'm using a word if here. Okay. So by the term if itself, you can understand that we are putting certain rules in it, right? For example, if it rains tomorrow, okay, tomorrow, then carry umbrella, right? This is what I have written in simple English, right? If it rains tomorrow, if this statement is true, then you will carry umbrella. What if it doesn't rains tomorrow? What if this statement is not true, right? Then what you will do? You will not carry umbrella, right? So what you will write? The above statement is not true, then you will not carry an umbrella, right? You will not carry an umbrella. So similarly, in Python, the line number 6 is denoted by else. And uh, with every if, there is else. Why? Because there are two conditions, whether it's true, whether it's false, right? There is not a third way related to that. Okay. So if I will ask you, like, did you learn Python? So what you will say? You'll say yes, or you will say no. You will not say like, maybe I have learned that, or I have didn't. Okay. If I will ask you, uh, is your manager coming to office tomorrow? Then what you will say? You will certainly reply me with yes or no. So for every question, there is only two answers. That is yes and no, true and false. Whether that statement will happen or whether that statement will not happen, right? So there are only two conditions pertaining to that, right? So else here, what else here does, else is the false part. If your certain statement is not true, then else will execute. If it's true, then there is no need for going to else part, right? For example, you are attending an interview, right? And a interviewer just comes in inside a room, and there are a group of people, and they said that the students having 60% our marks come to the interview, and those who don't, they can leave. Okay. So the statement, if it is true, if you have 60% of marks, then you will attend the interview. If you don't have, you will not, right? There you can't make a statement there that, okay, in the first semester exam, I fell sick. So I couldn't score much marks on my first semester. So for that reason, my aggregate percentage went down. Okay. You will not give that bullshit explanation there, right? Why? Because no one's listen to that. There is, yep. So my bad, actually, my network issues went down. So I was explaining you guys that what is if and what is else. Okay. So you are in an interview, and your interviewer says, he comes inside a room and he tells that if you are having the marks above 60% aggregate, then come to the interview, others can leave. So there you will not give an explanation that in my first semester I felt sick, so I didn't got the marks. You will not give that explanation there. And no one needs an explanation basically. So for every question, there is an answer of yes and no. There is not a third way out, right? Okay. For example, you are filling a certain form, right? And there someone asks, what is your marital status? So there is a two option, married and unmarried. There is no third option that you are searching for a girl or you are searching for a boy or you are not interested in marriage. Okay. So there is not a third option there. Two option is there. So I hope you guys have understood what I am trying to say by all these examples. What is if, what is else? What do you mean by else? What do you mean by if? Okay. So I hope you guys have quite understood it, right? And now it comes the third part. Third part is elif. Okay. So what does elif do? Okay. So elif means Elif means if the certain criteria is true, right? For example, I've told that the interviewer has asked whoever had got 60% in their above criteria, just come inside the room for the interview. Okay. You went inside that interview room, and then again the interviewer puts another condition. Another condition what? He tells how many of you knows more than two languages. Two languages means it's not the language which we speak. It's the language which computer understands, whether it's Python, Java, C, C++. So interviewer asks a question, how many of you knows more than one language? So he had given one condition there. So what will happen? Whether it's true, whether it's false. So how does elif block occurs? Elif block only occurs if the first statement if is true. If the if statement is false, then you will certainly not go into a elif statement, right? If you are not having 60% criteria, then you are not eligible to attend the interview itself. So what's the purpose of interviewer asking you guys that whether you know one language or two languages? He will not ask because you are not inside that room. Okay. Now let's take another example. For example, if you are having a key to your house, you have you open the key, the door lock. If you are having a key, then you can move inside the house. For example, the first statement is true. The if statement is true. And you have the key, you open the house, you went inside it. But after entering it, there is a master bedroom, there is a bedroom, there is a lock to terrace. Every lock is there, right? So those locks are elif statement, right? If you don't enter the house, then that option will not come because you are not inside your house, you are outside your house. So if you are outside the house, then what's the meaning of saying that do you have a key of master bedroom? Do you have a key to the terrace? No, there is no such options for that. So for elif statement to occur, you should have the first conditions true. The first condition, if the first condition will be true, then only you can execute the elif part. Okay. So I hope you guys have understood what is if, what is else, what is elif. I've given certain examples, right? And if you haven't understood, then what you can do, this meeting is getting recorded, right? You can rewatch the meeting to understand it theoretically. What does if, elif, and else does? What's the basic purpose of that? What do we mean with this, right? Regarding Python statements, we can follow the code. But first of all, you need to understand the basics. You need to understand the logic behind it, right? Logic means basics means you are learning machine learning algorithms. The basic behind that machine learning algorithm is totally mathematics, right? So first you need to learn those mathematics, then only you can understand those machine learning algorithms. If you won't, then it will be quite hard for you. It will be quite difficult for you, tough for you to understand those. So here as well, just first understand the basics, then we will write the syntax. Okay. So now we will move ahead with the code. How do we write it? Right. So the very first thing which I will write here is For example, I will put a number here. For example, 19. And I will write if n is greater than. Okay, now let's take the interview example itself, which you guys have also. Okay, so I will write here marks is equal to 79. Okay, average. Average I have written here 79. Or say marks. Marks I have written 75. And here I will write if marks greater than greater than 60, I am putting a condition here. The same way which interviewer had put. If your marks is greater than 60, then what you will do? Then you have to put here in Python code a indentation, a colon here. And when you will press a enter, by default, you will give, you will get a space here, a space of 4, count of 4. Okay. So by default, it gives the space of 4. You can take any number of spaces, but you have to make sure that at least one space is there. Okay. Otherwise, it will not work. Why by default it's 4 space? Because to make the Python code look neat. So for that reason, there is a default spaces of 4. Otherwise, you can give 1 space, 2 space, 3 space, 6 space, 10 space. It's up to you. But the ideal spacing is 4. Okay? If marks is greater than 60, then what I will do? I will write print. Here I will write you are eligible for the interview. Okay. And I will put a else condition. Else means if this condition is not true, then what will happen? Then I will write print you are not eligible. So the interviewer comes and asks if your marks is greater than 60, then you are eligible for interview. If it's not, then you can move out of the room. Okay. So whether this statement is true or false. If it's true, then this will execute. If it's false, then the else part will execute. Okay. So now let's run it. Okay. See what I'm getting? I'm getting you are eligible for the interview. Why? Because the marks was greater than 60. What if I'll write 59 here? Okay. And if I'll execute it, then you'll get you are not eligible. Obviously, you are not. So the basic syntax behind this, behind Python, is this is what you are seeing on your screen. You have to put a colon here. You have to make sure the code is indented properly. If it's not, then see, you can give any number of indentation. Okay. But the ideal spacing is 4. Okay. You will get the result certainly. But the ideal spacing is 4. What if I will give only one space? Then also the code will work. Why? Because only thing which is necessary to give at least one space. And if I will not give a space here, then I will get a indentation error. See, if I will execute this, then you are seeing here that expected an indented block. So you are not giving that indentation. So certainly this line will not execute it. Okay. So just press a tab button here and you will get the default indentation. So I hope you guys have understood if else, what is the basic behind if else, what is the syntax in Python pertaining to that. Okay. Now we will move on. We will move on to the elif part. What do you mean by elif? As I've said, for example, I will just execute here itself. If this is true, then I'll put a condition elif. And I will write here language. Language is equal to T. Okay. Elif language greater than equal to 2 means either 2 or greater than, then what will do? Print you are eligible. You are eligible for it. Okay. So now let's execute it. So either you are having this or language having this. You are eligible for the interview. Okay. Now in the basics, what I have discussed about that if interviewer asks if the language is not greater than 2 itself. So instead of using, if we'll use if statement here, which is means you are using nested if. So nested if works like that you are having a door and that all things, right? But elif, what elif does? Elif will hold a backup. Backup in the sense, for example, you are opening your house key. If you are not having it, then the backup is, do you have a spare key, right? If you have a spare key, then that will work. So elif is that. So what is the difference between nested if and elif is that for nested if to occur, the first statement should be true. For elif, if the first statement is not true also, then it will come inside that block and it will ask you for another condition. If that condition is true, then it will work. For example, you are opening a door of your house, right? If you're not having your key, then you will search for a spare key. If you are having your spare key, then that will work. But if you are having your key, then here the nested if will work. How it works? Just let's take an example. You are not eligible. You know languages more than two, but your marks is less than 59. Then also you are not eligible. Why? You are not having the key of your house. Then it doesn't matter you are having the key of your master bedroom or of terrace. You will not open that door unless you get inside your house. Okay. So I hope you guys have understood what is nested if and the difference between nested if and elif. My bad was there. Basically, I was explaining nested if there and I took the name of elif. So that was uh, nested if, which I tried to explain to you, that if your first condition is true, then only it will go to the other if block. If it's not true, then it will not. And elif is a backup plan, means you are having a spare key. Okay. In the interview, the backup plan is that you are having an experience, right? You can tell to the interview, okay, I don't have the marks, but I do have the skills, which I have proven in my previous organizations. I can show you my work, right? So the interviewers will be impressed by you because he don't need you to train again. As a fresher, he must have need that particular intern or person to train. But you are giving him the second option there. Second option means elif part. Second option means you are having a spare key, that elif part. So I think you guys have understood this if and elif thing. Sorry, nested if and elif thing. If not, just rewatch it. At the beginning, I have told about the nested if, the discussion which was that. I took the name of elif, but that discussion was of nested if. Now I can't just go back and correct myself. No, it's not that. So the elif means you are having a second option. You are having a backup plan. You are having a plan B. But nested if means your plan A should work. There is no option for plan B. If plan A works, then you will go. If my YouTube channel grows, then only I can earn, right? So for that reason, my first statement should be true, right? And for the plan B, the elif thing, certainly I don't have plan B because I believe that make yourself go push yourself to that extreme level that your plan A works. Okay. So I believe in that. So for me, the plan B is not there. I have to work in nested if. I don't have a plan B. So elif means plan B and nested if means if your plan works, then what's the another plan related to that? For example, if you are traveling, you are going to some hill stations. For example, you are going to Manali, right? So if you had booked a hotel in Manali, then you can perform certain things there, right? If you haven't been to Manali, then how you can perform certain things, right? So for that reason, you should go to Manali there. Then only you can do certain things. So you will put a certain if there. You will discuss with your friends, okay, we will go there, we will do this, we will do this, we will do this. But to do that, certain things, first you have to reach Manali. That plan A should work. Then only you can perform the certain things related to that. So that is nested if. And elif is the backup plan. Backup plan means if you are not going to Manali, then you will visit, for example, say Kashmir. So that is plan B. And right now, I don't suggest you guys to visit Kashmir because you know what's happening presently within our two countries, not our basically. Okay. So what's happening within our neighbors, right? So for that reason, I won't suggest to stick with your plan B. Okay. Let's be that environment becomes okay, then you can travel there. Right now, don't do it. Okay. So I hope you guys have understood here till now. What is if, what is nested if, what is else, what is elif. If you have any feedbacks. So you are open to share with me. I will just try to implement it. I will try to improve myself because I believe that I am a person who learns from my mistakes and no one is perfect. And yes, I will try improving myself from the next video. For that, I need your guys' feedback. So please give the feedbacks. And yes, if you like the my channel, then please do subscribe it and share to your friends that we are having a Zoom sessions live so that they can join it. Okay. And you also just join it. But if you don't like it, then just give me the feedback. Tell me what you don't like about the particular things. So what will happen? I will try to implement it to my next videos. Okay. So we are stopping here. Tomorrow we will discuss about the jump statement and we will discuss about the loops tomorrow. Okay. So till then, you guys take care. Keep practicing Python. Keep practicing it because every day I say practice 500 to 1000 lines of code because I want you guys to sprint. I don't want you guys to just be lazy in your career, to just walk it. Okay. So keep practicing it. Python or any language is like learning swimming or driving a car in YouTube, and you can't learn that two particular things. It same goes around with Python. You can't learn by sitting on your sofa to relaxing. You have to make running notes every day throughout my video. You have to practice it. You have to jump into it. Then only you can excel. Otherwise, it will be just another YouTube video for you guys, and you might not expel. Sorry, my bad. And you might not excel in your career. Okay. So keep practicing it. Keep enjoying it. Keep growing in your life. Till then, bye bye. Good night. Take care and Jai Hind.